Welcome to PaleriderTV. Got this some tips, new tips or tips for new drivers, from older drivers, veteran drivers. Found this site, truckdriversusa.com, and they have a bunch of tips that they ask older drivers to give to new drivers. And I'm going to cover a few of them here, and of course, give my commentary on the tips. Think I got maybe five or six, but the good one, I'm saving for the last. So let's just get started on this. All right. The first tip: show respect for other drivers. If you can't pass, get out of the left lane or the fast lane. And don't, I repeat, this is a good one. Listen up. Do not take your break on the fuel island. Never, never, ever, ever. And that's from Darren L. Here's another tip for new drivers: never stop learning. Sit down at a truck stop diner and listen to the veterans talk. That's from Joel L. Well, you'll be lucky to find a truck stop diner these days. And I'm not so sure about listening to the drivers at the counter. I always used to call that the super trucker counter, because you don't know who's telling the biggest lie or who's telling the truth. So be careful. Be careful when you take advice from the old salts in the driver's restaurant at the counter. Be careful. But it's a good idea. Always listen to veteran drivers. That way you can make your own assumptions after you listen to their advice or whatever. Number three, or the next one, is be patient. Don't get spun up about every little thing that happens on the road. In other words, don't use road rage. If somebody cuts you off, be mad for about a second and get over it. It's a long day when you're angry at everything. Also, do your pre trip every time, every morning when I used to do mine. That's from Stacy D. I used to do a pre trip every morning before I left. I'd even open the hood and check the water and the oil and check for leaks or anything that didn't look right. And you'd be surprised. Get up one morning at the truck stop when everybody's leaving and see how many drivers just jump up in the driver's seat and take off. Don't check anything. They don't even check their tires. But I check my tires, make sure everything's still put together or still there, not leaking, no leaks and stuff like that. So that's my tip there. Always do a good pre-trip every morning. And during the day, and taking a 30-minute break, just do a walk around, kick your tires, make sure there's still air in them, and just look around for anything that might be off keter. Then when you get parked at night, do the same thing. Just do a quick walk around. You might find something at night, like a light out or something that you can get fixed while you're on your 10-hour break. Yeah, there you go. Some advice from the old pay rider. Now here's the next tip, and this is a pretty good one here. If you're tired, pull over. It ain't worth it. They get some rest. They had seen way too many drivers crash simply because they needed a quick nap. Don't let dispatch tell you you can't stop when you need to. If you're tired, you're sick, you don't feel like driving anymore, don't let anybody force you into driving tired or sick. That's from Kobe G. Good tip, good advice there. Now, here's a three-part tip. Number one, plan your route. Have a plan A, a plan B, and possibly a plan C. You never know when things are going to change. and know where you're going to park. Same thing. If you have a place in mind you want to park, have you a plan B, a plan C, and so forth, other parking options. Use your turn signals often was number two. Number three tip this person has is always know where the rear of your trailer is. Always. And that's from Bradley V. He has some good advice there also. All right, the next tip is training, training, training. Give respect to drivers no matter what they drive, how old they are, or what they call God. That's from Gilbert D. That's some good advice. All truck drivers are out here doing the same thing. Uh, Gilbert mentions don't uh, disrespect them just because they drive a brand of truck that you don't like or whatever. So don't be like that. We're all out here for the same purpose. And this one, next tip here is very important also for new drivers, especially these days with the technology and the absence of atlases and everything else. Everybody wants to use GPSs. You could use Google Maps. In fact, I use Google Maps, but I didn't use it as a truck routing thing. I just used it to pinpoint a shipper or receiver, maybe the streets right around it. I didn't use it because I knew where I was going anyway. I've been driving for 28 years, so if I didn't know a route or something, I would look it up on the atlas. But Google Maps is good for pinpointing a place. You could look it up, get the satellite view, find out where you gate you need to come into, and if they had any room outside to park on the street or whatever. That's what I'd use. But I didn't use it as a driving routing GPS. But remember, Google Maps is not made for trucks. It is not made for trucks, so it won't tell you the truck routes, the routes you don't need to be on, any low underpasses, or what have you. And if you do have a GPS, always double check your route, make sure it's where you need to be going. And that is from Terry S. And we saved the one I thought was probably one of the best ones we saved for last. This tip here is 6 different tips in one. So we're going to cover, and it's from Dan A. So here we go. Develop some common sense is number one. That's always good to have. Number two, show respect for fellow drivers, shippers, receivers, and operations people. Number three, develop a strategy for biking, driving, interacting with people, and paperwork. That's a good one. Number four, very important, don't be afraid to get out and look. And also, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're having issues backing into a dock, backing into a spot at a truck stop or whatever, tight spot, get out and look and do not be afraid to ask. If you're running a CB radio, turn the CB radio off. Because the CB Rambos and the super truckers are on there making fun of you. But don't pay no attention to them. You're driving that truck, you're backing it, turn the CB off, ask for help, get out and look. That's a good one right there. Number five, don't let anyone, including yourself, force you to drive tired. Nobody, nobody should force you to drive if you're too tired. I'm going to throw in or too sick. Don't drive if you're sick, you don't feel good, or if you're tired. Don't take any chances. And they get mad about it. Oh well. Don't get mad about it. They can always reschedule a load. It's not worth it. And the last tip he has, Dan A, stay off your phone. Stay off the phone. Stay off the phone. No texting. You know, we have the regulation about the hands free headset, Bluetooth. Buy you one of those. I got 3 or 4 of them somewhere in I cleaned out of the truck. So I use them all the time. Don't text. Don't watch Netflix. Don't watch this video on YouTube while you're driving. You can listen to it, but don't watch it. There's not much to see. Just the old bear rider here talking into a microphone. So let me know down in the comment section if you have any tips you'd like to give for the new drivers. And if you're a new driver, are you going to uh, take any of this advice? Check out any of these tips from us veteran drivers. All right. Appreciate everybody watching. Thanks for all the support. Everybody have a good day and stay safe.